Welcome to the Nullarbor, Australia's vast, iconic plain stretching over 1,200 kilometres from South Australia into Western Australia.
Its name comes from the Latin nullus arbor, meaning no trees. And out here, that name makes perfect sense. It's a place of endless skies, ancient landscapes, and a road that feels like it could go on forever.
What lies beneath is just as fascinating. This is the world's largest exposed limestone bed, carved by time and hidden with caves, sinkholes, and stories few ever get to see.
We want to take you on an in-depth journey across this remote stretch, not just ticking off the well-known stops, but showing you the places that often get forgotten. Rugged coastlines, hidden caves, weathered ruins, and a few unexpected surprises along the way.
This is more than a normal road trip. It's an adventure across one of Australia's most extraordinary regions. This is the Nullarbor. As you can tell by the name of this episode, we are heading across the Nullarbor again.
That's right. We've already crossed the Nullarbor 4 times.
Yep.
And this will be our 3rd time going the same way, east to west.
Yeah, and we're both seriously excited to do this. However, each time we've done the Nullarbor previously, we have rushed it a bit and haven't managed to see all of the things there is to do along the way.
That's right. Some of you may think the Nullarbor is a little bit boring, but there's actually quite a bit to see and do. Going across if you're willing to spend the time to do so. Yeah,
and make sure you've got enough water to do so. Speaking of that though, we stayed in a caravan park last night in Ceduna just because we find it the easiest way to make sure that we're actually stocked up and ready to go. So we've topped up all our food, topped up all our water, topped up the power just because we could. We've had a nice long hot shower because it'll probably be our last one of those for quite a while. We're hoping to do 1 to 2 weeks across the Nullarbor to try and see everything that we can.
Although water will be our limiting factor.
It will be. So we will do it smart. We'll keep an eye on how much water we've got and how much we've used and all that sort of thing. And as we obviously run low, we'll, push a little bit further and get towards the other end. Anyways, I'm sure that's probably enough of them staring at our faces because that's not why you're here.
No, definitely not.
So let's get out there and get on with it and show these guys what the Nullarbor is all about.
Let's do it.
The drive from Ceduna to our first point of interest, Penong, is roughly a 70-kilometre drive along the air highway. Penong is best known for its impressive collection of around 20 or so restored windmills, all which highlight a crucial part of Outback history. One of the stars of the display is Bruce. Bruce is the largest windmill in Australia, standing over 35 feet tall with blades spanning nearly 10 metres. Originally used on a station near Woodner, it was carefully restored and relocated to Penong, where it now takes centre stage. The windmills on display came from all across Australia, each telling its own unique story. Some have been in operation for decades on cattle stations, while others played a key role in providing water to remote outback communities.
After wrapping up our visit at Penong, it was time to hit the road again. In less than 1 kilometre as you leave Penong heading west, you can turn south onto Point Sinclair Road and head towards Lake MacDonnell. The road is approximately 15 kilometres and is unsealed, so it's a bit of a bumpy ride. Lake MacDonnell is renowned for its pink hues, a result of high salt concentrations and the presence of algae and bacteria that produce the red pigments. We were eager to witness this natural spectacle, but unfortunately, the lake wasn't as pink as we'd hoped. Not to be discouraged, we continued our journey and stumbled upon another breathtaking spot that made the detour well worth it. Sometimes, the unexpected finds are the most rewarding.
Unfortunately, they have not had the rain out here, so Lake MacDonnell is not pink. It is pretty much just this bright white colour, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that's part and parcel of it. Like, this is our 3rd time seeing it, and the past 2 times, both times it was pink. So we've been pretty lucky, really.
And today, unfortunately, was the perfect drone conditions, and it wasn't windy at all.
Yeah.
So Murphy's Law.
Look, you win some, you lose some.
We're now going on a detour.
Yes.
A Jess detour.
A Jess detour. Now, these always end up very interesting, to say the least. So if you've been following us well, you know that they're interesting. If you are new to the channel, welcome, and this is going to be very, very interesting. Where are we going, Jess?
We're going to Point Sinclair. Apparently there's a jetty and that's about all, but a nice beach.
Right.
And maybe we'll have lunch or something.
Alright, at the moment all I know is it's a dirt road heading in and it should be interesting.
Yeah, you're not, I don't know if you're meant to tow vans or not meant to tow vans, but we've got ours on the back, so we'll see how we go. Yeah,
and we just ran into a couple of people coming back out from there. They weren't towing, they were just in a 200 series Land Cruiser, and they said, oh, you'll get your van in there fine. So we're taking their word for it.
They also said we wouldn't take ours down there.
Yeah. But they've got a 21 foot van, we've got a 17 and 6 foot van, so we'll see what happens. Anyways.
No more procrastinating, let's do it.
Should be interesting either way. It's not anything too bad. There is a nice big drop off on that side and it is very narrow otherwise.
But other than that,
it's not anything difficult.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. The view as you come in around the corner is quite nice too, but you just don't want to go off the edge.
No.
It's about 30-40 metres down over that side.
There's a retaining wall now.
Fair enough. It's still a drop though.
It is a drop to the retaining wall.
Super dusty road in, so hopefully if all goes well the dust reduction system has done its job.
Well, it's on.
Just ignore the fact that we haven't made the bed because we washed all the sheets yesterday and we haven't had a chance to make it, but everything is looking dust free, so
hey,
that's a win. Port LaHunt Jetty, also known as Point Sinclair Jetty, was built in 1911 and was originally used for wheat shipments. Today, it's a popular spot for fishing, swimming, and just taking in the stunning coastal views.
A standout feature here is the shark netted swimming enclosure, offering a safe place to take a dip in waters known for past shark sightings. The jetty itself stretches about 200 metres over the ocean, making it a great place to cast a line or simply enjoy the fresh sea breeze.
Unfortunately, camping is no longer allowed here, which is a real shame because it would be an incredible place to spend some time. However, just before reaching the jetty, you'll pass Cactus Beach Campground, which is home to one of Australia's most famous surf spots, known for its powerful left and right-hand breaks.
Whether you're here for the waves, the jetty, or just to admire the scenery, this stretch of coastline has plenty to offer.
Unfortunately, the time had come for us to leave Point Sinclair, and after a quick coffee, we hit the road to continue our journey west. It's always a bit tough to leave such a peaceful spot behind, but there's always more to see, and the open road ahead was calling us. We've decided to make some plans, which we never ever do. We've decided to pull into a place called Fowlers Bay, which is only about 150 k's out of Ceduna. We've been here a few times before and absolutely had a ball down here. It's just this really quiet, small little town. And every time we go there, Jess has managed to land a few squid off the jetty. So we're thinking pull in there for a couple of days and hopefully get some nice seafood on the table.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hopefully the wind holds up. It's getting a bit windy at the moment. Although it's a bit, we're in the afternoon now, so we're expecting it.
Yeah, it's
hopefully
3:30 at the moment. More often than not, when you're out here doing Nullarbor and stuff, it gets to the arbour and gets blowy. So we normally only drive for half a day anyway.
Yeah, true.
So we'll see how we go though. Hopefully the wind does hold off and we can get out on the jetty and get some squid. But we'll show you around Fowlers Bay when we get down there. It's only 20k detour off of the air highway, so it's not not far off at all. But looking forward to it. Arriving in Fowlers Bay, our first stop was the Fowlers Bay Caravan Park. Interestingly, the Caravan Park's kiosk also serves as the only shop in town offering hot and cold food, basic groceries, and even some fishing tackle.
After setting up our van, we headed out for a walk down the main street, soaking in the tranquil atmosphere of this off-grid community. The town operates entirely on solar power and a generator backup, and relies on local water sources, embodying sustainable living. Our walk took us to the Esplanade, where we were greeted by the expansive coastline. The highlight was the 340-metre long jetty that we would soon be hoping to catch some squid from.
As the day wound down, we returned to our van for the night, but before settling in, we launched the drone to try and capture the sunset. From the air, we could see the massive sand dunes that are slowly encroaching upon the town, a phenomenon that's been happening for over a century.
Despite efforts by residents to stabilise the dunes by planting native vegetation, the sand continues its advance.
If the dunes keep moving this way, there's a real possibility that Fowlers Bay may not exist in the future.
It's a sobering thought, especially considering how much history and natural beauty this place holds. For now though, it remains a peaceful coastal retreat, and we're lucky to experience it while we can.
Good morning.
Morning!
A little bit breezy at the moment, so I don't know how this audio is going to turn out, but it is an absolute cracker of a morning. We were supposed to be up at 6 o'clock and it's now like 7:30, but you know, we slept through the alarm.
We woke up to the alarm, turned it off and went back to sleep.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm glad we got up now.
Yeah. No, so we're going to go out for a fish now and try and catch some squid. But even if we don't, it's worth it because this sunrise is pretty special. So
It's epic.
all right, none of the gear's set up or anything, so I'm going to run out into the jetty now, get all that organised and chuck a line in and see what we can do.
Let's do it. How are we going?
It's not been a very productive morning so far.
No.
And by not very productive, I mean not at all.
I mean, look, let's face it, we opened up the fishing stuff and we're like, oh, we've got not many swivels.
And a grand total of 3 squid jags.
One of which has been ripped open by the guts.
Yeah. So I need to do a bit of a restock on fishing gear, but hey, I'm still having fun.
We're still out here.
Well, we didn't catch any of the action on camera.
Oh, no. No, we didn't.
But you did.
I did catch one.
You did manage to land one. Well done.
Thank you.
Showing me up on the fishing again.
Well, he come out of nowhere. I didn't actually know he was on, and then all of a sudden I couldn't see my jag and all I saw was squid. So
Well done. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Let's get some more.
Let's do it. It's one big fish.
Big cephalopod.
Cephalopod.
Nice big cuttlefish, but
He's old.
I don't have, I've only got him by one tentacle, and I've only got very, very light gear here, so I'm not going to be able to lift him up on the jetty.
And you're going to have to go around
I'm going to have to try and get down that ladder down there and try and beach him. Let's see how this goes. Alright, this could end well, or very not well. Oh no!
Oh no!
No! No! Put it back in.
Okay.
Ah.
Alright, well, I better go back to my squid.
Oh, you're kidding me. That's why I didn't want to try and lift it.
Yep. Well, oh well. Bugger. Next time.
I need a coffee. I don't know what I need.
Well, I better go back to my squid because
Yeah.
Shame. That was like 5 minutes worth of work.
Yeah.
So next time.
Yep.
That was an old cuttlefish that had not been caught for a long time.
It was dinner.
Yeah, for 3 days. Bagger. Have we officially given up fishing for today?
For now.
For now?
For now, yeah.
What's it? 10, just after, or 10:30 now. And I think we're done.
Yeah, it's not been a successful day. You got one.
Yep.
I successfully lost a cuttlefish.
He was
But,
big though. That was a big cuttlefish.
Yeah, I'm still salty about it.
So you should be.
Right, time to pack it up, make a move, and go and do something else that should be a bit of fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see if we do it.
Yeah, see what happens. Don't know.
Otherwise we'll chill out and do not much. Until the next fishing adventure.
Yeah, we'll probably go back out again tonight.
Yeah.
Going on dusk and try and get some more squid.
Yeah.
Try and actually land some squid.
You'll get there.
Oh, is that right? Right, so we've gone for a quick little drive out into Fowlers Conservation Park, I think it's called.
Yes, it
so
is.
basically just sand dunes on sand dunes on sand dunes and sand dunes. It's awesome up here. But we've also managed to grab a sandboard as well.
Yeah, so you can hire them from the Caravan Park reception or the kiosk cafe for $10 for, I don't know, what is it?
$10 an hour.
An hour, is it?
And it should be interesting because neither of us have ever gone sand duning, boarding. We've never done this before, so this is going to be awesome fun. Well, it's safe to say that we gave sandboarding a red hot go, and at first it was less smooth sailing and more human seaweed, you know, rolling uncontrollably and becoming one with the sand. After enough trial and a lot of error, we actually started to get the hang of it.
I did it!
Unfortunately, it was just in time for us to head back to camp and spend the rest of the night trying to get sand out of the places that sand should never be. Good morning.
Morning.
Cracker of a start to the day again. Absolutely beautiful sunrise. Jess managed to outfish me again.
As per usual.
Yes. No, absolutely great morning. Now, we are going to head off into the sand dunes today.
That we are.
So we're going to try and get out to a place called Point Fowler. So obviously, Fowlers Bay. We're going to head out to Point Fowler, which means going back out into the sand dunes again, which I'm actually really, really looking forward to. So it's really soft sand, full driving, all that sort of gear. So it's going to be absolutely awesome fun. Jess will probably hate it because she doesn't enjoy the full driving part of it, but that's okay.
Yes, but that's right.
Yeah.
It's all part of the adventure.
It is. Now, I say head back out there, but that's because we did go out there yesterday and go sandboarding, which for me was a bit of a failure, but again, Jess did incredible.
Well, kind of.
You managed to get down to the bottom.
Yeah, true. I mean, I've got a few bruises to show for it, but that's okay.
We both had a couple of good stacks, which was fun, but otherwise, we're going to head out that way out there, straight out into the dunes, have some fun. To get into the Fowlers Bay sand dunes, you head west out of town, down First Street, and follow the track just past the Caravan Park. Once you're in, there are no signs, no clear paths, just a few tyre tracks that seem to go in every direction. It honestly feels like a giant, sandy choose-your-own adventure, and we're all for it. After driving through those dunes for a little bit, we've popped out onto, what's it called?
Scott's Beach.
Scott's Beach. So Scott's Beach, Scott's Bay type area. Absolutely phenomenal through here. Beach is absolutely beautiful. Seen a couple of schools of fish in the water already, which is cool.
So there is a campground actually, Scott's Beach Campground, which is further around.
Yep.
And you can actually access that by a 2-wheel drive. It's
Yeah.
just a gravel road to get to the campground.
Yep.
You'd only need a 4-wheel drive to drive along the beach.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, now that we're down here, we didn't bring any fishing rods, so we're not going to try and get any of those fish because I didn't think to pack them. So I think we're just going to chill out for a little bit, go for a walk, have a look around, might stick a feet in the water for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then head off again out to Point Fowler. We'll see what this one's all about.
We kind of got lost on the way through. We followed someone else and all they're doing is coming here to fish.
Yep.
So we were meant to we cut across the dune. We're meant to go straight along the dune.
Yeah,
but you know.
It's a welcome detour because this beach is unreal and we would have missed it otherwise.
After a short drive along the beach and a quick dip of the toes, we quickly realised the water was way too cold for a swim. So we jumped back in the car, cruised a little further along the sand, and got back on track toward our original destination.
Before we left town, we made sure to drop our tyre pressures to around 20 psi to make the drive smoother, avoid getting bogged in the soft sand, and not get any punctures on any sharp rocks. The track is about 15 kilometres from Fowlers Bay to Fowlers Point, depending on how many offshoots you do, which track you take, conditions, and how often you stop. Overall, it should take you roughly 45 minutes to an hour. Continuing along the track towards Fowlers Point, the terrain was a bit of a mixed bag. There was sand, shifting to compacted limestone in some areas, and a few rocky outcrops scattered along the way. Every couple of 100 metres, it kept on changing, which made you keep your eyes on the track. But just before we reached Fowlers Point, we came across an unexpected stop that we really didn't know was out here, but we're very happy that we found.
Not far off the end of getting out to Point Fowler, you come up to this spot where they say that there's a colony of sea lions. So you just park the car up the top there with the information sign and whatnot, have a read of that, head down this little track, and then just back behind me down there is a beach, and it is absolutely chockers full of sea lions.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah. So no drones or anything like that, so we ain't going to do any of that. We're just going to see if we can get some shots of these guys, but it's a really cool little spot.
It is. It's really pretty too.
It is, and we've lucked out for the weather.
Oh, we sure have.
It's a beautiful day.
At first, the sea lions were quite happy lounging around, soaking up the sun on the beach and keeping their distance, but it wasn't long before their curiosity kicked in. Slowly, they started swimming closer, and before we knew it, they were right up close to us, checking us out just as much as we were keeping an eye on them. Honestly, we weren't sure who was more curious, us or them.
Hello. Oh, there was one underneath. Hello. Oh, there was one underneath.
They really are beautiful creatures, so graceful in the water, but with such a playful, puppy-like energy. With their inquisitive nature and playful movements, they've definitely earned their title as the puppies of the sea.
That was pretty cool.
That was awesome. They're just so cute, inquisitive, and playful, and they're little ocean puppies, sea puppies.
Quite literally.
So that's that done, and we're realistically not very far away from the end here of Point Fowler. So we're just going to keep heading out that way and see how much longer it takes us to get there. It's been a couple of hours on the road so far, but worth it. Really, really pretty scenery and stuff like that to see is quite special.
It is. It's really quite cool.
Yeah.
Especially being like the only ones out here. Or what we think.
Oh, we haven't seen anybody else, so yeah, just got to find our way out of here and get to the point now.
We'll see if we get there, because we're going the wrong way at
We
the
are,
moment.
but there's no other track, so see what happens.
We'll see.
another 15 minutes or so, and we've made it out to Point Fowler. So this is it here.
There's a rock can,
Yep.
well, rock monument
Yep.
can thing out here. It looks pretty impressive, really.
Just something that people have gathered a heap of rocks together and put up. It looks like a little house almost.
We don't know anything about it.
No.
We
no.
thought it was a sign with like rocks around it, but yeah, there's no
Just
sign.
a pile of rocks. But no, really, really cool. We just wanted to come out here, but there's nothing too exceptional, but we get to tick it off the list as saying that we've been out to Point Fowler now. So really happy about that, but we're just going to take a little bit of time, have a look around here, see if there is anything to see. If not, we'll get back in the car and head back out to camp.
Yeah.
What does it take, over two and a bit hours in the end?
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours to get out of here. So, but that's taking it pretty slow.
Very slow.
Anyway.
And getting lost multiple times. A few detours here and there.
After soaking in the views at Fowlers Point and a few more off-track detours, we eventually found our way back to camp. And to be honest, that was it for us. No fishing, no adventuring, just dinner, a hot shower and an early night. We were totally spent. The next morning, we packed up and hit the road, and we reluctantly said goodbye to Fowlers Bay and continued our journey west.
We've left Fowlers reluctantly. If we'd have stayed another night, we would have stayed for longer. So we've finally moved on. However, it is not the most ideal drive day. It's 40k an hour winds and we're pretty much pumping into a headwind the whole way. So going east to west along the Nullarbor, we're cranking that good old headwind already. But we've just stopped off at Nundroo Roadhouse to get some fuel and just to have a reprieve and pull over. But yeah, what do you want to say, Alan?
You pretty well hit the nail on the head. It's not an ideal drive day today, so we're just going to go for a little bit further out to head of Bight Free Camp, which is 130 k's from here. We didn't really need to top up on diesel here. It was just a case of it was cheaper here compared to going further. Jess has an app on her phone which actually checks all the fuel prices in advance and stuff like that. She'll tell you in a second more about that. But yeah, no, so we're only going to go 130 odd k's today to head of Bight Free Camp and just pull up there for the day, because it's just not worth trying to push into this wind and make the car work harder. Plus it's 40 degrees outside as well, so everything's having to work hard, and I don't see the point in pushing all the gear that hard, and we might as well just pull up for the day. So I'm just checking wiki camps for latest reviews and stuff like that, but everything's looking alright to head out to head of Bight. So
See if we push that far.
yeah, well, it's only 130 k's, but yeah, we'll see how we go. We might pull up sooner, who knows. Jess, what's the fuel app that you use?
So we use, what did I say? Fuel app. I'm pretty sure it's just called Fuel app. And that helps us keep tabs on how much we've spent, how far we go, our litres per 100, etc. As well as it gives us the cheaper fuel stops. I know a lot of people use Petrol Spy. I tried it, and honestly, it's not much different to Fuel app, so we just use that one instead. So it's just what we've used and what we know. Yeah.
Yep. No, well, I'm going to finish my coffee. It's an iced coffee, not hot coffee, because it's way too hot for that. Finish this up and yeah, just get on the road and see where we pull up for the day. There's a couple of things I'd still want to have a look at on the way out to wherever we do end up, but we'll show you that when we get there.
If it's not too windy. So got back in the car, just checked my phone and realised that the fuel app we actually used is called Fuel Map Australia. It is a free app and we've been using it for forever, and it still does all the same features. It's just easy for us to keep tabs on how many litres we use per kilometre, and it's got it from like as soon as we put in a log, we've got all of our log details. So yeah, it's a pretty cool app.
The first fuel stop along the Nullarbor heading west is Nundroo Roadhouse. It's only 150 kilometres from Ceduna, but we decided to top up as it was one of the cheapest options at $1.83.9. From there, we continued along the Nullarbor and made our way toward the head of Bight Free Camp. But when we arrived, something was going on that wasn't quite what we expected, and it might just change our plans.
Well, we just rocked up, and definitely not what we were expecting to see.
No, we were not expecting Head of Bight to be closed due to extreme weather conditions.
Yeah, it's 44 degrees and it is pretty damn windy, but yeah, they've just got a sign on the gate that says closed due to extreme heat, and that's all we know at the moment. So we've just set the van up though, so we're just going to sit down and have some lunch and figure out what we're going to do now, because our plans have changed. So
Well, not really.
wow.
We don't have plans, let's face it.
But hey, this is all part and parcel of being on the road, and sometimes stuff happens. So
Yes.
anyways, we're going to have lunch and we'll talk to you later.
While we figured out what our plans were going to be, the sky completely stole the show. Glowing with the most incredible colours of purple, pink, orange and red, it was one of those sunsets you just didn't want to end.
But as the last light dipped below the horizon, the weather took yet another turn. The wind picked up, the clouds rolled in, and we were forced into bunkering down for the night, waiting to see what the next day would bring. Hopefully, we'd finally be able to head out to see the Head of Bight. Well, unfortunately, we've woken up to some less than ideal weather, which is a bit of a carry-on from last night. It was one of those nights where the wind just kept on going and going and going. We tried to position ourselves in nicely next to the shelter to try and block out some of the wind, but it was just swirling around and carrying on, and yeah, Jess slept alright though.
Yeah, I always sleep well.
Yeah, she was out at like 9 o'clock at night and just stayed asleep, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the weather today's not great. They have opened up the Head of Bight, so we could go down there if we wanted to, but I just don't think it's going to be worth doing it today.
Not on the edge of a cliff, in 40k an hour winds. It's probably not the smartest idea.
If you know anything about Jess, she absolutely hates sitting around and not doing anything. So it was only about 30 minutes later before Jess got sick of sitting in the van all day, and the decision was made to brave the elements, head out and take a look at the Head of Bight. And you know what? We're glad we did. Just a short 12-kilometre drive from the free camp brings you to the Head of Bight Visitor Centre. There's plenty of parking, with ample space for caravans and larger setups, making it an easy spot to stop for travellers crossing the Nullarbor. Even before stepping inside, you'll find a series of detailed information panels. They dive into the fascinating geology of the Bunda Cliffs, the deep Aboriginal cultural connections to the land, and the incredible wildlife that calls this remote coastline home.
Inside the centre, there's a cafe, a small gift shop, and even more displays to explore. But the real highlight lies beyond the doors.
Well, we've decided to head out from the caravan for the day.
Yeah, we decided to brave the elements.
Yeah, it's less than 20 degrees out here at the moment, which isn't too bad, but it's a shock when it was only 44 a couple of days ago. So
Yeah.
Where are we, Jess?
We are currently at the Head of Bight.
Yep.
So we paid the $10 per adult to come out and go for a 1.2 kilometre walk to have a look over the ocean.
Yeah, so 1.2 kilometres, $10 off season.
Oh yeah.
I think it's $20 on season when the whales are here.
Yeah.
We're about 2 months too early for those, but that's okay. It's still going to be pretty to look around at, all the cliffs and all the ocean, and just say that we've been out here. So
yeah,
looking forward to it. But yeah, that rain over there looks like it's coming through, so
it does.
we might be perching up on one of these shelters for a little bit in a minute, but we'll see what happens.
There's a few shelters here just to sit and have a view.
Yep, get out of the rain, get out of the elements. Here's one, amusingly, right there. Anyways, we'll get on with it and have a walk around and show you what it's all about.
See ya.
A network of elevated boardwalks stretches out across the dunes, leading to purpose-built viewing platforms with breathtaking views over the Southern Ocean. From June to October, this spot becomes one of the best places in the country to witness southern right whales as they return to these calm, sheltered waters to give birth and nurse their young. Sadly for us, visiting in March meant we were a little too early for the show.
While we might not have hit the most perfect conditions, I would actually hesitate to argue that these conditions are more incredible, if anything.
That's right. It's overcast.
Yeah.
The sun is trying to peek through the clouds.
It is.
But the waves, like the ferocity of the waves hitting those cliffs is just next level insane. It's really cool.
It is. It's really, really cool to see. And again, of course, if you're heading from east to west, this is the first chance to get a glimpse of the Bunda Cliffs, the famous Bunda Cliffs, and they do stand up to everything that everybody says about them. They are unreal.
Is it Bunda or Bunda?
I'm not too sure, so I'm just going to keep saying Bunda Cliffs.
We got into a habit.
Anyways, we're going to spend a few more minutes here just having a little bit of a look around before we head on out.
Unfortunately, our time at the head of Bight was cut short when the weather rolled back in, so we made our way back to the free camp and bunkered down for the night once again.
But in the morning, the skies had cleared, the wind had eased, and we were welcomed by a golden sunrise stretching across the horizon, just the kind of fresh start we were hoping for.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, yesterday turned out to be one of the most windy days we've actually had since getting here to the head of the Bight, unfortunately.
Yeah, it started off all right.
It did.
And then by the time we got back to camp and had a bit of lunch, we were like, a bit too windy to bother going any further. So we decided to stay at the head of Bight camp one more night.
Yeah, it was just one of those things, you know, like from a safety point of view, there was no point in hitching the van up and trying to push through the wind that we had, and just also from a fuel economy point of view, there was no point punching into that head/crosswind. So, however, we're up this morning and it was an absolute beautiful sunrise. It was a little bit chilly this morning actually, but it's shaping up to be a cracker of a day today. So we are going to get the van hitched up, we are going to get on the move, and we have plenty of things to see across the Nullarbor today.
We sure do.
So we're going to take you guys along and go look at all these different caves and that sort of thing and show you what we think will hopefully be an epic campsite tonight.
Hopefully.
All right, let's get hitched up.
Let's do it. First destination.
Yeah, so we're only like less than 5k's out from camp, and there's this little spot called Whitewell's Cave. I don't really know too much about it at the moment, so I'm gonna have to do some more research about it. But what I will do is probably stop walking because it's literally right there and I do not want to fall into it. But yeah, this is the first of quite a few little caves that we're gonna see for today. So very, very interesting. It's huge. Well, it's not huge, but it's definitely a lot
Bigger than I
bigger than I expected. I'll tell you what. Oh, okay. Yeah, it goes down a fair way.
So I'm back by the car. We get down to the cave and Alan looks in and goes, I want to drop the drone into it. And I was like, yeah, cool. Nah, I can't deal with that. So I'm just by the car because I get too stressed out with the drone flying around anywhere. I have full faith in Alan, but yeah, it just freaks me out when he gets too close to anything. And the cave's not massive. It's big enough to put the drone in. So we'll see what he comes back with, but he's currently sitting or standing right next to the hole. And the temptation for me to go and push him in is real right now. Like, pretty real. But I'm gonna stay well a ways because I don't want to get in the way and freak him out. Because I want our footage.
Yeah, look, thanks for not pushing me into the hole, Jess. I really appreciate it. Whitewell's Cave is just one of over 1,000 caves on the Nullarbor Plain that has been mapped so far. The name, Whitewell's Cave, comes from the natural rock holes that collect water in the area, providing a crucial source of hydration in this arid region. These caves support unique ecosystems with species like the giant blind cockroach and cave spiders that have specifically adapted to life in total darkness. It's a reminder of how resilient nature can be in such an extreme environment.
After finishing up at Whitewell's Cave, we made the short 10-kilometre drive to the Nullarbor Roadhouse.
This place is a real Outback icon. Remote, rugged, and a welcome sight for anyone crossing the Nullarbor Plain.
Back in 1956, the station manager started selling fuel to travellers braving the rough gravel roads through this region.
But it wasn't until 1976, when the air highway was fully sealed, that the original roadhouse was built to properly serve the growing flow of traffic.
The current building you see today came along in the 1990s, adding more modern facilities to meet the needs of today's travellers.
Fuel was sitting at $2.82 a litre for diesel when we visited, easily the most expensive of the whole crossing, so no, we didn't fill up here.
But it's still a must-stop spot. Grab a bite, stretch your legs, and take in that unique Outback Roadhouse vibe.
Stops like this are more than just for fuel and food. They are a reminder of how remote and incredible this journey really is.
Just out the back of the Nullarbor Roadhouse is a set of 3 caves that we've heard about, and Jess has done a little bit of reading about. So we're going to head out and have a look at those.
We call them the M Caves because we can't really pronounce the proper name. Murrawijinnie?
Yeah, we'll show you the sign in a second. I was just trying to read it from here, but yeah. So it's only like 10 and a bit k's out to the furthest point. We did have a little bit of a chat to the people in the Roadhouse, and they said that we should be okay taking the car and caravan out. Apparently it's just a bit dusty and a bit rocky, but that's fine. We'll see how it goes and report back from there. But I think we'll just kick the dust reduction system on in the van and head on out and see what happens.
Yeah. The wind's just started to pick up.
Wind has picked up a bit, so we'll see how we go.
This was a bit unexpected, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but not, because I knew we were driving out to see caves.
Yeah, but it's huge.
It is, and this is supposedly not the most exciting one, but so far it already looks pretty exciting, but it's a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah, it's huge. Absolutely massive. I'll show you in a sec.
Yeah, have a little bit of a look-see. Looks cool.
So Alan was just like, where's the way down?
Yeah, because there's lots of human footprints and stuff down the bottom and tracks and that. So I thought, well, there's obviously got to be a way down there.
It's just over there, we think.
Yeah, it looks like a very dodgy way down, but I'm keen to have a look. Not
We'll
making
see.
any promises that I go down there, but we'll see. Yeah.
Good job.
Oh. I wouldn't suggest that to anybody. Don't do that. Are you coming down?
Maybe. We'll see.
I'll be able to help you from down here.
Yeah. All right.
Getting back up's going to be the issue.
Really?
The
Yeah.
Murrawijinnie Caves are one of the few that are still open to the public, offering a rare glimpse into the ancient underground world of the Nullarbor Plain. This is the hardest of the 3 caves to access, but the effort is well worth it. The main entrance is a collapsed cave feature typical of the region's landscape. Inside, the limestone formations have been shaped by millions of years of water erosion, and the cave remains cool all year round, offering a welcome escape from the heat of the Nullarbor above.
So Alan did get out of the first cave.
Yeah, I did. It was a bit of a climb, but I'm out. And we've just driven down to the second one, which is all of like a couple hundred metres down the road. And then the third one is just 100 metres down that way. But this one, I don't think I'm going to go down into because, well, I don't know, I probably could actually, but yeah, the camera's not going to show it. It just goes down and down and down into the dark down there, like a long way.
Actually probably could get in there, hey?
I probably can. I just said I wasn't going to do it, and now you've said that. But we know that you can get into the third one. The third one, apparently, you can just walk on into, so. Oh, you can just walk down there. You can come in this one.
Okay.
Nice work.
Thanks.
Didn't want to miss out, did you?
No. I had FOMO after the other one, but
What do you reckon?
this is pretty cool.
It is. It's huge.
It's massive.
As you step into this cave, you can tell right away that it's much more open and deeper. The entrance is also a lot easier compared to the first cave.
Once you're inside, you begin descending further towards the bottom. The space opens up the deeper you go, and the ceiling stretches high above. At the base, smaller tunnels dart off in different directions, each leading into its own mysterious section of the underground cave system that stretches across the Nullarbor.
I'm not going to go down there, but down here there's like a little chute and it just disappears into complete pitch black darkness down there. And even up here, I've just noticed there's like this little pathway type thing. And again, it's just, yeah, I don't know what's down in there, but it's creepy looking. Very creepy looking.
We are at cave number 3.
Which doesn't look as appealing from the top, but according to the very, very small amount of research, this one's the easiest to get in and out of. Not so sure I believe that myself, but again, we'll have a look.
Those bushes are very creepy too. There's meant to be hand paintings in this one,
Oh, is that this one, is it?
apparently.
Alrighto, we'll see if we can, see if we can't find them.
Inside, the cave feels smaller and more intimate compared to the last. The floor is uneven, with jagged limestone formations creating unique shapes and a significant drop leading down to the main chamber.
Definitely the easiest of the 3 to get to the bottom of.
You sure?
Yeah, it's just one giant, huge open cavern down here.
Wait up, I'm coming.
Righty.
What's fascinating about this cave is the presence of Aboriginal hand stencils inside. They were created by blowing ochre pigment over a hand pressed to the wall in an ancient technique that's lasted for thousands of years. The cave's name, Murrawijinnie, even translates to bloody hands, a nod to these markings and the cultural stories that they carry.
Exploring this cave, you get the sense that there's much more to discover beneath the surface, both in terms of its natural formations and its cultural significance.
We figured while we're out here, we may as well just have a quick bite to eat. So Jess has just whipped up some chicken coleslaw salad wraps for us, which is great. I've already started munching on mine.
Same.
And we're just going to have a quick coffee and chill out here for a little bit before hitting the road again.
look, it's 10 kilometres back out.
Yeah.
It definitely took us quite a while,
Yeah.
a bit over an hour to
Yeah.
get out here.
That was stopping and looking around and recording and all of that sort of thing. But it's well and truly worth a detour out here. We really enjoyed coming out to these caves. So if you can, yeah, for sure, come out and have a look. Recommend it. But also, just a side note, these little coffee bags, absolutely fantastic for traveling and all that sort of thing. You just pour hot water into them and away you go, you've got coffee. And it's decent coffee too, it's not instant or anything. So
Yeah.
definitely recommend those coffee bags from Grounded Drops. Anyways, it looks like you've already taken more of that, so
I'm hungry.
cheers.
We're just getting back to the Nullarbor Roadhouse from the Murrawijinnie Cave drive. And I just posed to Alan, if, in hindsight, would you have taken the caravan down there, or would you have left it at the Nullarbor Roadhouse and gone without the van? Alan?
My answer is very simple. There's no real reason to take the van out. Back in the day, you used to be allowed to camp out there and stuff like that, so that's the only reason that you would take the van out. But now I would probably just ask the guys at the Roadhouse if you can either leave it at the Roadhouse or put it in the caravan park at the Roadhouse or something like that, because you'll be able to do the track in half the time that it takes with the van on the back.
Yeah.
But now we are, like Jess said, we're back at the Roadhouse now, so we're going to jump back onto the main air highway and head off towards camp.
Yep.
I think there's like one more thing to do on the way to camp, though, unless I'm mistaken.
Maybe one or two.
Maybe
Depends
one or
on
two
how
more
we
things.
feel.
Yeah. So either way, we're going to jump back on the bitumen and lay down some Ks and get heading west.
After leaving the Nullarbor Roadhouse, we kept heading west. About 75 kilometres down the road, we made a stop at Bunda Cliffs Scenic Lookout number 1, and it didn't take long to understand why this spot is one of the top draw cards for anyone crossing the Nullarbor. The Bunda Cliffs stretch over 200 kilometres along the Great Australian Bight, offering some of the most dramatic coastal views you could imagine. Rising up to 120 metres above the Southern Ocean, these cliffs are made of fossil-rich limestone that is slowly eroding away over time. Down below, the water is an incredible shade of blue and turquoise thanks to the limestone washing off the cliffs and into the ocean. The mineral-rich water only adds to the vibrant colours, making it all even more striking. Standing there, taking in the size of the cliffs and the vast, wild coastline, you really get a sense of just how extraordinary and remote this place is.
Well, after a short stint on the Blacktop and a stop off at a beautiful scenic lookout over the Bunda Cliffs, shocker, we're back on the dirt.
That's right, we did forget to put the dust reduction system on at first.
Yeah.
So we had to pull over and turn that one on.
Yeah, thankfully there was like pretty much no dust inside, but it's always better to have it on to be safe than sorry. It's only a 13-kilometre detour into this particular campground off the main road.
Which is pretty rough.
Yeah, it's not like air down rough or anything like that. It's just a
More rocky.
more rocky sort of dirt road than anything else, nothing special. But yeah, so 13 k's in, we'll get in there and show you around the place and tell you a bit about it and all that sort of thing when we get there. We were actually here a few months ago, so we know the place, and that's why we wanted to come back to it, because we really enjoyed our time out here last time.
Yep.
But yeah, for now we'll just get this 13 k's knocked out and see you when we get there.
After a big day on the road, we arrived at Koonalda Homestead, which is nestled in the heart of the Nullarbor National Park.
This place has such a rich history. It was once a thriving sheep station and an important stop for travellers crossing the Nullarbor Plain. Although it was abandoned in 1976 when the air highway was sealed, it now offers a unique camping experience.
And for $14.50 per vehicle is a perfect spot to unwind after a long day.
However, by the time we got ourselves organised, the day had slipped away, and it was already time for dinner and bed.
But we're really looking forward to tomorrow. There's so much to explore around the homestead and the surrounding station. We can't wait to uncover more of its history and natural beauty. As dawn breaks over the Nullarbor Plain, the soft light reveals a haunting sight. A graveyard of rusted vehicles scattered across the landscape. These abandoned cars, remnants of a bygone era, tell silent stories of travellers who once braved the old air highway. Mechanical failures were common on the treacherous route, and many vehicles were left behind, succumbing to the relentless elements. Now, they stand as corroded monuments to the challenges of crossing this vast expanse.
Moving past the skeletal remains of these automobiles, the exterior of Koonalda Homestead comes into view. Constructed in the 1930s from repurposed railway sleepers and demolition materials, the homestead's weathered walls and corrugated iron roof bear the marks of time and isolation. Once a vital sheep station, and later a roadhouse for weary travellers, its facade now stands as a testament to the resilience required to survive in such an unforgiving environment.
Stepping inside, the air is thick with history. The interior, though aged and worn, offers glimpses into the daily lives of its former inhabitants. Faded curtains flutter in the breeze, and the creak of wooden floorboards echoes throughout the empty rooms. The remnants of a once bustling kitchen and living area evoke a sense of nostalgia, painting vivid pictures of communal meals and shared stories.
Just outside, an old petrol bowser stands as a relic of the homestead's days as a refuelling stop along the original air highway. The faded shell emblem and rusting pump serve as reminders of a time when Koonalda offered essential services to those making the arduous journey across the Nullarbor. This solitary sentinel now watches over the deserted grounds, symbolising the inevitable march of progress that led to the homestead's decline.
As the morning sun climbs higher, casting long shadows across the plain, Koonalda Homestead stands as a poignant reminder of human endeavour and endurance. Each abandoned car, each weathered wall, whispers stories of the past, inviting us to reflect on the relentless passage of time and the transient nature of our endeavours.
Well, that sunrise and walk around the grounds was absolutely amazing way to start the day.
Sure was.
Really interesting history around this place. So much so that we've actually unhitched the car and gone for a drive. Admittedly, this is only 300 metres from the campground, but it's the old shearing shed. So we're going to spend a little bit of time looking around here as well. And then we're going to jump in the car and go about 6 or 7 Ks up the road, which takes us out to Koonalda Cave as well. So
We haven't been out there yet,
No,
so we don't know much about it.
no.
I think there's a sinkhole as well on the way through.
Yeah, cool. All right, so well, that's our morning planned out. And as always, we'll take you guys along and show you whatever it is that we see.
Yes, we will.
After having a look around the shearing shed, we jumped back in the car to do the 6-kilometre drive out to Koonalda Caves. The drive out was an unmaintained dirt track, but nothing too complicated other than a little bit of bull dust. As we got closer to the cave though, we noticed some security cameras which we thought was a little bit strange, but we continued on.
So we've just driven the 6 kilometres from Koonalda Homestead to Koonalda Cave.
Yeah.
And we've come across this sign.
So, all for it being a National Heritage listed, and it says that you can't go in. So then why is there this little platform thing that says that you can go in, but then there is a big pole over there which is absolutely covered in cameras, and on the way in here we actually went through like 2 or 3 other poles that were covered in cameras as well, and it's supposedly to monitor for illegal access. So you're allowed to walk around the fence, but you can't actually see anything.
You can't see anything from the fence line.
We've just done a walk around and yeah.
I look at it and I go, cool, it's a big hole. Yeah, I don't know much about it. Granted, I didn't do any research about it, so probably should have looked up as to whether we could actually go at least get closer to the edge to see what it's all about. Yeah.
Like they've actually got cameras inside the cave underneath the lip, so even if somebody was to go over the fence and have a look, there is cameras in under there monitoring us.
It's just, look, it's a bit disappointing, really.
Yeah.
The fact that they actually have to have cameras too.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, I do get that.
Oh, I think it's a bit much, but
yeah.
so yeah, overall it looks like it would be a cool cave, but yeah, we can't say anything about it because we can't see anything.
Pretty much.
I mean, I don't need to go in or anything like that. It would just be nice to
just stand just there on the edge.
Yeah, but also if they've gone to the effort of making a big car park area with a table up the top and everything and putting all these cameras and everything in, why not at least put a board up with some information so we know what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh well, that's enough.
I'm going back to the van.
Alright.
After what was still a great stay at Koonalda Station, we headed back to camp, hitched up the van and got back on the road. We were really looking forward to our next iconic camp spot, which was supposed to be one of our favourite camps crossing the Nullarbor. Unfortunately though, things just didn't go as planned and we couldn't stay there.
Well, we pulled up after a little bit of a drive, not very far at all, and this is actually one of those spots that I was hoping to pull up and camp at. It is one of the cliff top camps, but it is just beyond a joke windy out here, so there's just no point, like absolutely no point in staying up here. It won't be a comfortable night and we'll just be sitting inside the van doing absolutely nothing. So, in my opinion, that defeats the purpose of doing it. Plus, look, let's be honest, I don't think Jess was too keen on staying here anyway.
Yep.
Even in good conditions, I don't think she wanted to. So that's all right. So what we're going to do, we will actually be crossing the border today. So we will be going through Border Village, which means there is the quarantine station there. And we don't have very much fruit and veg left at all. But what we do have left, we're just going to quickly prep up. So Jess is just going to kind of have a bit of a chat about what you do, what you can take, what you can't take, that sort of thing. But yeah, so here she is.
All right, so I don't know exactly what you can and can't take. I only know what we can't take because we've only got 2 onions, a potato, a little bit of lettuce, some cabbage and a carrot, which realistically we'll have the carrot and the cabbage for lunch and the lettuce for lunch and a potato for lunch. That just leaves the 2 onions. Now, we did some research and worked out that we can actually take onions into WA as long as they are peeled, pretty much. So, yeah, that's...
Were they peeled and frozen or was it just peeled?
No, just peeled.
Just peeled.
They only have to be peeled.
Yeah. With carrots, if we weren't going to take the carrot through, they just have to be free of dirt and no green foliage and frozen. Not frozen?
They can be fresh, yeah.
And potato has to be peeled.
Yes.
So potato has to be peeled
and
frozen,
I think.
Sweet potato, though, doesn't have to be peeled. Pineapple is fine. Watermelon is okay so long as you peel it and dice it. Pumpkin is fine so long as you peel it and take the seeds out. Nuts and seeds are fine. It's really not that difficult to make sure that you know what you're doing. Just jump on the web, have a look, do some research. We've kind of timed it really quite well, hey Jess?
We have.
Like, we're running out of all the fresh stuff pretty much as we're getting to the border. So we've done that well.
Yeah.
It's just worked as a coincidence. We didn't plan it well.
No, we just...
But
Yeah.
seeing as the next place that we would top up fruit and veg and stuff is like still quite a few hundred Ks away, what have we got
Oh, yeah.
for the next little bit instead?
So we do. We got some frozen veggies. Essentially, we don't normally carry frozen veggies because we use our freezer for meat. But we just
And
got
to be
some
honest, I'm not
veggies.
really a huge fan of frozen veggies, but we will use those for the next week or so.
Yeah.
We've got more than just that one packet.
We
though.
also
There's
have some
more.
frozen fruit, and these are actually, thanks to my mum, for dehydrating and making like fruit roll-ups. So they're peach and nectarine, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or only peach, I'm not sure. But yeah, so she dries them and makes them into fruit roll-ups.
Yeah.
So
So that's one of those ones though that we're going to be a little bit curious about when we do get to the border. So we are going to declare that we have them, because dehydrated fruit, if it's done commercially, is allowed to cross into WA, but it does come up to the discretion of the person that you're chatting to at the border as to whether or not you can take through personally dehydrated stuff. If it meets their standards and their acceptability, then it can go through. So we'll see. But we did chuck it in the freezer just as an extra precaution. So, but yeah, so Jess is going to get those onions organised, chop up the potato salad, make a coleslaw and that sort of thing. I think we've just got some sausages for lunch.
Yeah.
And then we will make a move and we will be crossing into the border very soon.
yes,
Exciting.
and losing 2.5 hours.
No, we'll be gaining 2.5
I mean-
hours. It'll be going backwards 2.5 hours in time.
hours. Yeah. Sorry, that was weird. Gaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you in WA.
Woo.
We really wish we could have stayed at the 52k peg rest area. It is an incredible spot perched right on the edge of the Bunda Cliffs. But when we arrived, the wind was howling and the cliffs felt dangerously exposed. You can see just how undercut they are, and it's no surprise that the area is now part of the Nullarbor Wilderness Protection Zone, with camping no longer allowed. It's sad to see places like these close, but with the erosion and all the risks, it does make sense.
Well, this is the last lookout stop on the Nullarbor Trail before you hit the WA border, and
It's just started raining.
it's raining. So it's 36 degrees and rain at the moment, but we're still going to have a look at this lookout, see what it's all about, and then get on the road again. But yeah, typical that it starts raining. How you doing?
Oh my god! My feet are atrociously dirty.
Ah, how do you feel? Just a bit of...
And wet. Now we can show the rain on the windscreen because you can actually see it.
Yeah, I needed a shower, so that's good.
Yeah.
Didn't need that run though, I'm knackered.
You were the one that suggested running.
Out of the rain, yeah.
After a short 15-kilometre drive, the rain finally cleared, and we caught our first glimpse of the SA-WA border. We had a quick look around Border Village, and when we saw diesel priced at $2.77 a litre, we decided to hold off. We knew Eucla was just 12 kilometres down the road, and fuel there was going for $2.39, so we jumped in line for the quarantine check and made our way across the border.
Well, there you go. We are officially in Western Australia now.
We are. Just.
The border is quite literally right smack bang there, and I tell you what, it is a fantastic feeling being into WA. We've still got over 700 k's to go to finish off the Nullarbor crossing into Norseman, but so far it has been an absolutely incredible time, and we've still got so much more to see and do. But yeah, I'm ecstatic.
We've only been on the Nullarbor for 7 or 8 days now. You stink.
Oh, not as bad as you. That rain that we had just before was fantastic. Gave us both a bit of a freshen up.
Yeah, it definitely made the streaks on my feet definitely a lot worse.
Oh, I'm not showing you those filthy things. Anyway, we're going to push on a little bit further, only probably 10 or 15 k's down to Eucla, get some fuel and all that sort of thing, and just have a bit of a plan of attack from there and see where we end up.
Let's do it.
But yeah, loving it, loving it.
We popped into Eucla to top up on diesel, much cheaper than at Border Village, and had a quick look around before heading down the hill out the back of town to our free camp for the night. Although the weather looked clear when we rocked up, it certainly wasn't going to stay that way.
All right, well here we, oh, that was a good bit of lightning. All right, well here we are at the Eucla Old Telegraph Station free camp, which is a really cool free camp, just kind of tucked down into a, you know, sort of around some sand dunes and that sort of stuff. We've already been for a look around the old telegraph station, which is pretty cool. Just a shame that people decide it's necessary to put all that graffiti over it and destroy it that way. So that is a bit of a shame, but the rest of it looks pretty cool. Jess is getting some dinner organised, and I tell you what, this time difference is actually messing with us already. Like, it's only 4:45 here. Feels so much later, and I'm absolutely starving. So Jess has got some pork schnitzels on the go, going in the Weber. Don't know how we're going to go with that though, because there is a massive storm pretty much forming all around us, a bit of thunder, a bit of lightning and that sort of thing. So should make for a very interesting night tonight. But otherwise, yeah, have a feed, watch this storm roll through, and yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
So about half an hour ago, both Alan and I got a willy weather update to say damaging winds.
And rain. And lightning and thunder.
Etc, etc. And it has only just started picking up now. The winds come up, and then we decided to stop our pork cooking in the Weber. So we've currently, life update is, it's pouring outside.
It is. It's bloody bucketing down now. I mean, I joked earlier about wanting to have a little bit of rain come down just so that we can wash the car and the van. Well, safe to say everything is getting a thorough wash at the moment. But yeah, a few big gusts of wind as well. And they're topping 60 k an hour at the moment, last I checked. So,
oh really? There you go.
Bit of fun.
Yeah.
As for the dinner, it's...
Sitting on the stovetop.
Yeah, that's how far cooked they got in the Weber. And this place is just an absolute mess at the moment.
Look at the footprints from us.
Yeah.
If you can see those.
I don't know if you can really tell from this camera, but the place is a mess.
Yeah. We did have Starlink in the sink as well at one stage.
Yeah, I didn't want...
Oh, there it is.
Didn't want to leave Starlink sitting outside because it was just getting belted. I know it's waterproof, but it was getting belted, so...
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll see how tonight goes. See how we can go for dinner. I don't know how we're going to do that now, but...
In the stove. On the stove.
Right.
It'll just have to be in a fry pan.
Done. Easy.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, I don't think either of us had too much sleep last night. She was pretty wild down there. Just a whole lot of wind and rain and all that sort of thing. But that's all right. We made it through the night. Nothing's damaged or anything. So we are back up and about. Obviously, we've just come up out of the campground, and we just wanted to quickly touch on fuel, or diesel more so.
Yeah.
Biggest rule that I can, well, not biggest rule, biggest bit of advice that I can say, if you've got a big enough tank to be able to get from Nundroo or Yellata all the way through to Eucla, you are going to be so much better off price-wise and all that sort of thing. It means that you might have to, obviously, if you can, tuck in behind a truck or somebody else's caravan and slipstream for a little while, bring down your fuel usage, or do what we did. If it is a chronic headwind and you've got the time, take the day off the road. Don't bother trying to punch into the headwind if you don't have to. Obviously, not everybody's got that liberty. Some people are on a time crunch. So in that case, you are going to burn through more diesel on a headwind, obviously.
It also depends on how many offshoots you want to see as well, off-road. Yeah. So we were a bit too close for my liking.
We were pushing it. We pulled into Eucla with 50k range left on the tank. So we were pushing it to get here. But I did the calculations on all the offshoots that we were going to go and see. And I did calculate that we were going to have enough. But it did also mean, again, that
I was anxious as hell.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. But anyways, like I said, top up at Nundroo or Yellata. If you can then make it all the way through to Eucla, you're going to be much, much better off. But again, don't push it just for the sake of the dollar. You know, it's about miles per mile, it's not litres per kilometre and stuff like that. So enjoy the trip and take your time. But yeah. All right, now we're going to continue off today. Try and hopefully find a truck to sit behind and slipstream because we've got a little bit of a... It's still windy. Like from last night, it's still very windy today, so we're going to try and find something to sit behind today and save a few dollars.
Hopefully.
But we're only probably going to go another couple hundred k's, I think. We've got a few little bits and pieces to see, so as always, we'll take you guys along and show you what's what.
Yeah, we will.
All right, let's do it.
Hurry up. Buckle up. I may not like to write up an itinerary, but I do like snacks. So I'll always have some form of snacks on the go. Alan doesn't mind them either, but...
You got absolutely no proof. I have no snacks on me. Can I have a snack, please?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
He always says, no, I'm not hungry. But as soon as I bring those snacks out, he's like, oh, can I have one?
Again, you've got absolutely no proof. I have no snacks.
There's no signposted turnoff, but if you know where to look, a dirt track just before the Madura Roadhouse leads about 10 k's off the highway to this quiet cave. Easy to miss, but well worth the detour.
We've just arrived at Madura Caves, haven't we?
We have. 10k drive out, nothing too strenuous or anything like that, just a bit corrugated and potholes and whatnot, but nothing bad. And honestly, from the top at the moment, this one doesn't really look anything special, but we've been told you can get into this one and then have torches and look around at the bottom, so
We'll see.
it's about the best we know of it.
Don't fall in.
But that's not the cave.
Well, it is.
It's part of the cave. The cave is over here. This one kind of goes in a bit.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, plenty of dead animals.
Oh, yeah, we were warned about that.
Yeah, like lots of them.
Yeah. Whoa, that's cool.
Which bit?
All the way back.
That's probably the hole that we're standing above.
Possibly.
It's nice and cool in here.
It is. That march fly's still bugging you though.
It is. It won't leave it alone.
Oh, yuck! Cave spider.
Oh,
I can't.
no.
There he is.
Oh, yeah. Just looks like a little huntsman or something.
Yuck. That's gross.
Give him a poke.
No! Don't push him near me.
There's a little baby one down there too.
After spotting a cave spider in the first of the 2 caves, Jess decided that it was her cue to head back out and check out the second cave. Although, we weren't even sure if we were going to be able to get into it.
Going in?
Oh, yeah. Get rid of that march fly. Yeah, no, it's worth going in. It's actually pretty cool. Let's see. I'll take that one for now.
Ow! My fly was on me the whole time.
It opens up
Oh, does it?
and keeps going back too.
Okay.
Like you can actually come in and stand up.
Okay.
You see?
No, I can't see anything.
Watch your head, Fred. Once you're in here, you can stand up. See, it goes all the way back.
Oh, it does too. You feel a little bit claustrophobic.
Look at that. This cave honestly just keeps on going. Looks like it opens up to another big cavern down there. Oh, it might be where the water is, maybe?
This is wet.
Yeah, it feels wet, doesn't it?
No, that's it.
Where it ends up.
Oh, to the left?
Oh, there's bats. There's a bat up there.
Oh yeah, I can hear it. Can we head out now? Please?
Yeah. That goes... Oh, that shoots off down underneath under there as well.
Oh yeah.
Not down there though. There's bats everywhere in here.
Yeah, I bet there are. I told you I heard him.
Sorry?
I heard him.
Yeah. The little tackers, you know, those little ones they still fly around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Head around to the other side.
Yep. It's hot.
It's nice and cool under here.
What? Good job. You made it.
Oh, that's right up there.
Very bright. Your torch is on also.
That was a fun little adventure.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
Probably goes back a good couple of 100 metres into there and then just kind of keeps going and going and going.
Yeah,
So,
it was. But it was pretty epic.
yeah, I think that's probably enough exploring through there though.
Yeah,
You got a little bit claustrophobic towards the end,
I did, and the ground sounded hollow, so I
did.
freaked out a bit.
but it just makes you think like the whole Nullarbor is a giant cave system and limestone cave system and everything anyway, but when you see things like that just out in the middle of absolutely nowhere,
Kind of makes you second guess going off-road.
well, you think we drove out here and I think, so we are parked just there, and then the entrance to that cave that keeps coming back is just down there. So we're probably parked smack bang over the top of that.
Yeah, I'd say so. But it does go down, so
It does. But
I don't know.
yeah, we'd be parked straight over the top of that.
Yeah.
pretty well.
Anyways, back on the road, off to the next one.
Yep.
Would you recommend, Jess, people do the 10k road out to here to have a little look?
That's a hard one. Yeah, I would. I'd do it again. The road's it's not great, but it's not horrible.
Yeah.
If
If you're just coming out here to only look at the caves from up above,
yeah.
it's still cool, but nothing special.
Yeah.
If you're coming out here with the intent of
Going out and under.
going into that little hole and stuff like that, yeah,
do it.
I'd say worth it. Just make sure you bring a decent torch, because we did not have a decent one. But
No.
anyway, on the road,
Let's do it.
straight back to the car.
Yep.
Well, we pulled into camp tonight. This is Kaguna East Bush Camp. It is 330 k's out from Eucla, and yeah, it's just a big free camp basically.
It is. I mean, look, 330 k's is not a lot, but for us it is.
Yeah, we love to travel slow if you haven't gathered by now. But this place here, it's just a narrow track straight off of the air highway. It's marked by an old rusty 44-gallon drum. You just turn in there, narrow track, few trees and stuff, but then it just opens up into this big, huge open area.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Tuck in behind bushes and yeah.
And that's about it, really. It's just a pretty cool little free camp.
Yeah,
Big free camp. Anyway, Jess is going to have a workout now, I think. And I'm probably just going to sit inside the van and do bugger all. May even fall asleep on the couch because, yeah, we're tired after not a lot of sleep last night. But, yeah, tomorrow we'll get up and do it all again. And we're actually heading out to a station tomorrow.
Yeah.
If it's open. We believe it's open. We think it's open. We're not 100% sure, but we're going to try and get into the station tomorrow.
We'll see.
So, yeah. Anyways, we'll leave you to it. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Bye.
After an early night, morning rolled around quickly, and it was time to lay down some kilometres and head across the famous 90-mile straight, known as the longest straight stretch of road in Australia.
Was that the longest 90 miles you've done?
In a straight line, yeah. 146.6 kilometres of dead straight road. So Australia's longest straight road, all done and done. And it literally finishes with just a tiny little turn to the left, and that's it. So
That's it.
it's a very anticlimactic end, but it's done. And I think from here we're 30 k's outside of Balladonia.
Yeah, around
Maybe
about.
around 30 k's outside of Balladonia. We'll pull in there because there's some pretty cool history and stuff at the roadhouse that's there. So we'll take a little bit of a look at that.
Have some lunch.
Have some lunch.
Because I'm hungry.
Aren't you always?
Yes. Rude. But yes.
Just 7 kilometres from the western end of the 90-mile straight is Balladonia, and it's well and truly worth a stop. Inside the roadhouse, there's a small museum with a pretty interesting story. Back in 1979, bits of NASA's Skylab space station actually crashed down here. They've got pieces of the debris on display, along with old photos and newspaper clippings. It's not huge, but it's a great spot to stretch the legs, plus we topped up with diesel while we were there at $2.29 a litre. Finishing up at Balladonia, it was time to hit the road again. This time though, we're going to take a turn off the highway to a spot that's only just reopened after being closed for years. 117 kilometres from Balladonia Roadhouse is the turn-off to Fraser Range Station. The station had been closed since March 2020 for a number of reasons, but reopened to travellers in December 2024. After a smooth check-in, we set up the van and wandered around the campground. Seeing trees, flowers and actual green grass again after crossing the Nullarbor was honestly pretty incredible. It wasn't long before I discovered that they've got a bar, cheekily nicknamed the Nullarbor, that opens each night for dinner and drinks. Which was perfect timing, because after the crossing, my drink supply was just about gone. But knowing we had an early start planned for the next morning, we decided to call it a night and headed off to bed.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, we're up and about. And one of the things about Fraser Range Station is that they actually have 4 hikes that you can do out here. 2 of them are walks, and the other 2 are a little bit more difficult. One of them being right up to the summit, and the other 2 sort of...
Around the woodlands, a little bit lower.
So we're going to go on one called the Wallaby Walk, I think it's called, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that they actually do at reception here is they suggest that you hire or borrow one of their radios, because they run the station on Channel 8. So you take one of their radios with you, then if any injuries, issues, any get lost or anything like that, you can actually just radio through and they'll help you out however you want. So we've grabbed ours from the car, so we're just going to take that. But I believe this one's sort of like middle of the range difficulty wise, but I believe it's somewhere between 6 and 7 Ks.
Well, I think they're all around about 6 or 7 Ks.
Yep.
So normally they have a brochure, but they've run out. So we're flying blind, but we know for this one we have to follow the yellow markers.
Yeah, which are, I don't know if you can see it from the camera or not, but
Probably
they're
not.
very, very bright yellow and easy to see. So.
And they're numbered.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean we won't miss a number.
Oh, we probably will be like, oh, look, number 12. Where was number 8? Anyways, we're going to go and get this one done, and then I don't know what we're going to do after that, but we'll take you along, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we see some wallabies. Apparently, there was a few out here the other day, so.
I reckon we might be a bit late for them, but
We'll see. We'll see.
mind you, it's only like 7 o'clock, so yeah.
All right, let's do it.
We are literally maybe 100 metres in. We've already seen 6 wallabies. Hey, does that mean we turn around?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm going home. I finished my walk. I've seen some wallabies. We've already skipped out one yellow sign. We went to number 1, number 2, and now we're coming up to number 4. So we're doing well on that regard. But I'll see more wallabies. I'm going home.
Bye. We better keep going. Alrighty, well, we've passed marker 12
We have.
and now we're looking for 13. We're kind of at a crossway because we're kind of on the ridge and there's lots of wallaby tracks and we don't know what's human track and what's wallaby track, to be totally honest.
We can't find lucky number 13.
No.
But we will, and if not, we'll just keep wandering around until we do.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful view either way, so I'm not complaining.
No, and it's not too hot yet.
No. It is going to be mid-30s today, so we probably should wrap it up soonish and get back, but it's a beautiful walk.
It is nice.
The scenery is stunning. Like, the ridgeline and everything behind us and all through here is beautiful, but just that view out over the horizon and out into nothing. There's just nothing out.
Look, we can see the homestead and camp,
we're
so
not lost by any stretch.
we'll find our way back. Just I'd like to follow the walk, not, just meander along and hope for the best we find something.
This is half the fun of it. Going and exploring and finding our own way.
Yeah, that's Alan. I can't face you because the sun's there. But anyway,
We'll find number 13 somewhere.
maybe.
Keep you updated.
If it hasn't been knocked down by wallabies.
Dead.
We found a marker.
You did. Well done.
Well, I did, yeah. But it was in the spot that Alan probably said it would be.
Well, yes, but anyways, it's a long way between number 12 and number 13. But Jess spotted number 13, so at least we know we're back on track.
We did have to go,
Rogue.
yeah, a little bit. Look, we did a splitsy, which we probably shouldn't do.
No, we're still within eyesight of each other. So, anyway, we found it.
We did.
We'll continue along.
It's down there.
Yeah, so from 12 to 13, it's a big gap, but basically just keep heading in a straight line and you'll find it.
It was pretty much a goat track like this. Well, a wallaby track, shall we put it in?
There's no goats, just plenty of wallabies out there.
Yes.
All right, onwards.
It was a bit of a detour. We've just finished the hike. We're back at camp now, back in the caravan. Alan, what are you doing?
I am currently on DJI's website because nobody's fault but the receiver so we use these microphones to have better audio, to which we have a receiver that plugs into the side of the action camera, but somewhere along the hike that receiver has gone missing. Once we realised that it had fallen out of the camera, we doubled back for a few Ks and stuff, but we could not find it. We spent over an hour So I'm now on DJI's website trying to find out if I can purchase just the receiver itself or if we have to buy a whole new DJI mic set.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the hike was fun.
Oh, look, we have no idea where the hike is meant to end. So the track that we were on was just a wallaby track. I'll say wallaby track.
It's all numbered 1 through to X, as you know, because, yeah. So we got up to number 17. Jess found number 17 pole laying down. So then it never really gave any indication as to which direction number 18 would be, and then we never actually found number 18. So we kind of went rogue for a little while trying to find where the rest of the hike went. Couldn't figure it out, so we just dropped down into the main plateau area and just followed the creek basically back to camp, which is also why we will probably never see the microphone receiver again, because we didn't follow an actual track or an actual hike. So it's not like somebody else out there is going to go for a walk and stumble across it, because it'll be in the middle of nowhere.
Look, it's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Either way, the actual hike what we did was beautiful. The scenery was great. Wallabies everywhere, wedge-tailed eagles everywhere as well. So it was well worth doing the hike, but it's just ended a little differently to how we thought.
I like a well-defined track where I know where I'm going, so I know I can go fast.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But anyway.
That's all right.
Is what it is. So I'm going to see if we can purchase a new receiver for the mics.
So there might not be as many face-to-face camera shots when we're outside, because they help with wind.
I'll try and figure out a way to do it so that we can still have decent audio for the next little bit. But, yeah. It happens.
We apologise in advance for future
audio. But for the rest of the today, look, it's already 10:15. I've got some life admin stuff to do on the computer, and I think we're just going to wash some clothes and basically rest and recover for a little while after doing the Nullarbor and doing this, and then we're going to have dinner tonight here at the station. So we'll talk more about that later though. But yeah, for now I'm going to go shopping.
Enjoy.
Thanks. Good morning.
Morning.
Absolute cracker of a feed last night.
That was epic.
Yeah. So they do these meals here every night, and it varies what they are and that sort of thing. But last night's beef and bacon burger was absolutely bang on. Jess loved it because she actually got some salad. It's been a while since she's had
fresh salad.
Coming across the Nullarbor, you don't get too many options like that. So absolutely great feed. We've already headed off this morning on what's called the Summit Walk.
Yes.
I think it's called. We're up to sign number 7, I can see in the distance there.
Yep.
It was a good start. We went past number 1 and then we found number 3, so we skipped number 2 somewhere.
We're not sure how. We managed to.
But that's just us. That's just what we do. yeah, well, look, fingers crossed we actually find our way through this one and find it to the top and that sort of thing. But yeah, it should be, I don't know, should be a good little morning stroll.
We're still not sure if it goes straight out and back or if it's a round loop like the others, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we're just going to get it done and see what happens. But yeah, should be interesting.
Alrighty, let's do it.
Well, we made it up to the summit.
We did.
This one was only 2.3 k's up, so nothing too bad lengthwise. And honestly, it was really, really super easy to follow the signs for this one.
It was great.
Nothing compared to yesterday. But no, we've made it up, and it's just a really, really cool view. Like it's just 360 degrees around, and yeah, it's just really, really pretty up here.
It is a little bit windy, as you might be able to hear, but beautiful.
Yeah,
stunning.
So we're just going to, I don't know, take a little bit of time here and chill out and relax for a little bit, and then just head on back down and see what happens from there. But if you're only going to do one hike out here, I'd probably say do this one, because it is shorter. It is straight up a hill, but it's not difficult.
It's not strenuous. It's a little bit rocky underfoot, but they're bigger rocks. It's not like it's gravelly stuff that's slippery. I mean, there isn't really a totally proper path. You can kind of make your own adventure as well.
Yeah.
But
forge your own way through.
Pretty much.
But no, definitely worth doing. Glad that we did it. And yeah, we'll just take some time now and enjoy the piece up here and head on back down after that.
Oh, and the numbers only go up to, 14 is the last number before you get to the can here.
Yeah. So if you are following and need to know how many, 14. All right, catch you later.
Bye.
Alrighty, we've had a slight change of plans. Jess spotted a sign marker off in the distance over there, about 100 or so metres, and she's actually gone and had a look at it. And Jess, what was it?
It was the Wallaby Ridge Walk number 20.
So yesterday when we were doing it, we found up to number 17, but then we couldn't find any more. And it turns out that 18, 19, 20 leads you up to the summit here. So Jess now, because she is who she is, she wants to complete the Wallaby. So that means we're going to go to 20, then find 19, then find 18, and then head back to camp after that, because she can't leave a hike incomplete. So that's now the plan of attack. And I mean, who knows? We might find the receiver that she lost somewhere along the way as well.
We weren't saying who lost it.
Sorry. That got magically lost along the way. Anyways, let's go do this rest of Wallaby.
It's going to be a bit difficult because all the signs point towards this way.
Yeah, so we'll be looking at the back end of signs, so we won't have any bright yellow indicators or anything like that.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's all part and parcel of it.
We might actually find our way this time. Alrighty, we are coming up to the first marker, which we know is Wallaby 20. And it takes you up to the summit. So we're going to guess that we backtrack somewhere that away.
It's over there. You can see it in the distance.
No, that's a fence line.
Well, okay. Well, there's one down there.
There's one down there, but
all right.
we're going to have to see where we go.
Yep, we'll figure it out.
just about to get back to the van, and that hike ultimately should have been about 4.4 k's.
Yes.
And you're tracking it at 7.3, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So we did go for quite a bit more of a mission to try and find the receiver, and we did not find it.
No, we didn't. Oh, and the other 2 markers.
And the other 2 markers, which we did not find either.
No.
So, yeah. But either way, it's been a cracker of a morning.
It's been a good hike.
I'll tell you what, though. Today is the day that Jess is finally going to give me a haircut, because I damn well need it.
Ugh, I hate giving him a haircut.
And I'm going to have a shave as well, because this Nullarbor beard has to go.
It does.
But other than that, it's a chill out day again today, and we'll see what we get up to tonight.
After I lovingly gave Alan a fresh haircut.
Not so sure about lovingly, there was definitely some hair pulling involved.
Maybe just a little. But after that, we pretty much just lazed around the van, and the whole day sort of slipped away without us realising.
We caught another cracking sunset though, and then called it an early night, because the next day we were finally finishing our Nullarbor crossing.
Alrighty, I'm a little bit sad to be leaving this station actually. It was a really, really cool spot to stop off.
It was. It was nice to get a bit of R&R.
Yeah. So technically we haven't finished crossing the Nullarbor because Norseman is technically the actual end. But it was nice to come here, chill out for a couple of days, do a couple of hikes, yes. But it was also good to have a good feed.
Yes.
That burger the other night was absolutely freaking unreal.
It was delicious.
Now they do have water here. But not for like topping up your tanks on your site or anything like that. They do sell water, so you can get water at 20 cents per litre. Now, speaking of water, we are going to Norseman today, because that is where we're going to stay for the next couple of nights and end off our Nullarbor trip.
Yes.
But we will be topping up with water there, so we'll explain more about that when we get there. But,
Good, because my arm's getting sore. Let's wrap this up.
but for now, we're on the road.
Let's go. The drive from Fraser Range Station to Norseman wasn't too far, only about 105 kilometres.
Yeah, which after crossing the Nullarbor felt like just a quick trip down the road.
It really did. Before we set up camp, we swung past the Ampol Servo to top up our water. It was just a $5 donation to the Royal Flying Doctor Service, which is such a great cause.
If you don't want to fill up at the servo, you can grab a token from the information centre, but it'll cost you $2 per 60 litres.
There's also a dump point in town if you need it, which is right by the water fill-up point.
After that, we pulled into the Norseman 72-hour self-contained camp and got ourselves set up. Well, here we are, guys. We are in Norseman, and that means one and one thing only.
That we finished crossing the Nullarbor.
We certainly have, and it was an absolutely awesome time. Overall, it actually took us 13 days to do this time, which is very much the longest it's ever taken us. I think the longest we've taken before was like 3 days.
Yeah.
But we had an absolutely amazing time.
We sure did. So we're here staying in Norseman at the 72-hour self-contained free camp.
Yep.
We are waiting on mail to be delivered to Norseman, so we don't know how long we will be. We will probably stretch it out for the 3 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, Norseman's not a bad town.
No, it's not. It's a good little place to kind of base yourself for a day, maybe 2, 3 days, whatever it may be, just to give yourself a little bit of a restock and a reprieve. So you've got a little IGA in town. It doesn't have a huge amount of stuff, but it is good to top up your pantry a little bit, top up your fridge a little bit, depending on how long it has obviously taken you to come across. There's a pub that serves a really nice cold beer and really, really good pizzas as well. So that is definitely a bonus.
Now, and the swimming pool.
And there is a swimming pool. Depending on what time of the year you come here, there is a swimming pool which is free. So chances are we're going to finish this video off and go straight over to the pool for a swim, because it's about 36 or something today. So
yeah, something like that.
But now, you're going to have to excuse me for having my phone. I've got a heap of notes written down here because we just want to cover off things like our water usage, fuel usage, highlights, yeah, just all that type of stuff. And I've got the memory of a goldfish, so I have to have it written down, otherwise I will not remember. It's as simple as that. So I apologise if I'm being a bit rogue. Right, speaking of which, our water usage. So we started the Nullarbor with both our tanks full, so we had 180 litres of water on board on the van, and we ran out of that when we got here to Norseman.
Yeah,
we did a load of washing and we ran out of water, which was fine. So 180 litres. How did we make that work for 13 days?
So well, we showered maybe once every 2 days.
Every other day.
We did stay at Fowlers Bay and Fraser Range Station, so we showered there, did our dishes, used all the water we could there. However, we couldn't fill our tanks there.
Yeah.
So, we just.
And speaking of dishes and stuff like that, we wash dishes once a day. We don't find any point washing breakfast dishes, lunch dishes, dinner dishes. We just do them once a day and leave it at that.
Yeah.
As Jess said then about using other water and stuff, when you do come across the Nullarbor, obviously there are plenty of roadhouses that you can stay at. They're roughly $40 per night to stay at for power. However, you don't get water. There's no water to top up your tanks or anything like that. And most of them, if they do have showers there, are about $4 for 8 minutes for a shower. So if you are coming across, just bear in mind that between Ceduna and Norseman, there is nowhere to actually fill up your tanks. So that's just something to be aware of. So you can't go to a roadhouse and expect to have water as part of your $40 fee. It's just not going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Fuel is next. So kilometres we did and all that sort of stuff. Right, so if you plug in Ceduna to Norseman, it is 1,200 Ks. It's like 1,201 Ks, I think, or something like that. Overall, we did about 1,450, so 1,450, so 250 odd Ks extra than what you would normally do from Ceduna to Norseman. That was so that we could go out and see all of the other bits and pieces in the caves and all that sort of thing that we wanted to go and see.
We averaged around about 17.1 litres per 100.
Nice, yeah. And that was with headwinds most days and crosswinds on the other days that we didn't have headwinds. So it was one of those things.
Yes, and we also spent... we filled up 299.9 litres of fuel.
Couldn't even get it to 300. 299.9.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Now, on the topic of fuel, if you're going from east to west like we did, biggest tips that we can give you there is leave Ceduna, well, obviously top up in Ceduna, leave there, top up then at Nundroo or Yalata, because they're going to be your two cheap options on that side, because then you'll get to Nullarbor, and Nullarbor is close to $1 a litre more expensive than either of those two. And then after Nullarbor, Jess has got the numbers there, I believe.
Yep. So then you've got Border Village at 277.
That's right.
Eucla at 239.
Yeah. So again, if you can avoid topping up at Nullarbor and Border Village, you'll save yourselves a lot of money that way. Because again, difference between what was it? Border Village.
40 cents a litre difference.
Yeah. So you're looking at $1 a litre difference at Nullarbor compared to earlier, and then 40 cents a litre difference Border Village to Eucla. So if you can make that distance between without topping up and getting those two, save yourselves plenty of money.
And after that, realistically, they're all a bit of a muchness, ranging from 239. Sorry, ranging from 229 to 240.
Yeah, so that's so once you go past Eucla, then you've got Mundrabilla, Mandurah, Cocklebeatty, Kaguna, Balladonia, and Norseman. So back in the day, you used to have to go for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Ks without having anywhere to top up your tanks with diesel or anything like that. Now it's every couple of hundred Ks, if that. So if you're worried about fuel, there are plenty of fuel stops along the way. So it's not scary in that regard.
Yeah.
What was the next thing on the list? Ooh, likes and dislikes and stuff like that. You go first. What was your favourite paid camp accommodation type thing?
Oh, that's easy. Fraser Range Station.
Okay. Yep.
I quite liked it. It was just nice scenery. There were walks. And yeah, it felt like you were back in civilization in a way.
But we did have a very quiet section of the station to ourselves, so it was nice to be away from people still.
Yeah, we
don't dislike people, but we just like our own space when we go camping.
We did go unpowered.
We did.
Most people went powered, so
yeah. And that's fine. That works out. We didn't need the power or anything like that, so we were quite happy to be where we were. Your favourite free camp as we came across?
The Kaguna Bush Camp, I think.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that.
So Kaguna East Bush Camp, which is literally just outside of Kaguna, isn't it?
Yeah, about 5 Ks east of Kaguna.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
It's just a nice big open area and plenty of space to tuck away from everybody else, and yeah. No, fair enough.
What about your likes? What's your favourite camp?
If we're going to go paid, I would say Fowlers Bay. It's obviously it was our first stop outside of Ceduna, but I absolutely love Fowlers Bay. You got all the sand dunes out there. You got full driving to do. You've got fishing to do. Jess can catch squid there. I can't. And it's just a quiet, quaint little town. Like there's no luxuries or anything like that, and it's just an awesome little spot just to spend a couple of down days going fishing and full driving and relaxing.
Yeah.
Free camp wise, this time coming across, I would say the old telegraph station outside of Eucla. So you've got Eucla up on top of the hill, you shoot down a road out the back, takes you down in towards the sand dunes and just camp up down there. We had horrible weather, like absolutely horrible weather. We got pelted by rain and horrible winds and all that sort of gear.
Yeah, let's face it, a storm came through.
It was a nasty one, but I still absolutely loved it there in general though. It's just a great little camp, great little free camp. Your favourite stuff thing, whatever that we did as we came over? You like the cave?
Oh yeah, the caves.
Was it? I think.
Yes. I liked the fact that, well, the ones that we chose to look at, we chose them because you could walk into them.
Yeah.
Because you could walk in, explore them.
Yeah.
A lot of the caves from about Cocklebiddy onwards, a lot of them you can look in, but they're all fenced off because of safety reasons, essentially.
And a few of them have actually caved in as well. So what you used to be able to go in and see, you can no longer do, unfortunately. So one of your favourite things would have been the caves?
Just the caves, yeah.
And amusingly enough, I already know the answer to this one, but for you guys, what was one of your dislikes?
Funnily enough, my biggest dislike was Koonalda Cave.
Yeah.
As bad as that sounds.
Yeah.
It just felt like it had been roped off. We went in not knowing anything. We went in not knowing whether we could go in, whether we couldn't go in. But it was the fact that there was no information at the homestead to say what was out there. There was no information to say that it was a heritage listed. What is it? Yeah.
So it's listed. It's a heritage listed site, which is completely fine and understandable because there is like old artwork and stuff like that in there dating back 22,000 years. So it is understandable that it is heritage listed. Unfortunately, how long is the drive out there? It was
6 k's.
6 k's out from Koonalda Homestead out to the cave, which is not far. It is an absolutely woeful road though. It's a shocker of a road. But you get out there, you've got the big cave in the ground, and there is a huge fence that goes all the way around it, so you can't even see past the lip. And there are cameras out there, number plate recognition cameras and all that sort of stuff, so you're being watched the whole time out there and you can't actually see anything. So
it was just a bit disappointing, that's all.
Yeah. But with Koonalda, one of my favourite things that we did coming across this time was actually Koonalda Homestead itself. So you've got the homestead which you can actually go in and look around. You've got the sleeper hut outside. You've got the old car yard out there, which is full of everybody's hopes and dreams of people that never their vehicle never made it the whole way across the Nullarbor, and it's just really quite a nice, relaxing, chilled out place. It is low cost. It's $14.50 a night per vehicle. And there is a drop toilet and stuff out there as well.
That's if you want to camp.
That's if you want to camp out there. You can just drive in, drive out. It's 13 k's off of the main road out to the campground. It is, again, a dirt road, which is pretty corrugated and rough, but still, yeah, I actually really quite liked it out there just to look around and look at all the old history and that sort of thing that's out there. So yeah, I thought it was really quite cool out there. Did you have anything else that you wanted to cover off?
I don't think so.
Look, there probably will be, and we'll probably think of it as soon as we hit stop here or as soon as we go for a swim in the pool over there. But for now, if we have missed something, please just drop a comment down in the bottom below. Ask us anything you want. We always make sure to go through all our videos and like all the comments and respond to them and all that sort of thing. We try to engage with all of you and chat with all of you because we want to help as much as we can.
I mean, it does take us 67 business days to do so, so we apologise for that, but we do get back to them eventually.
We do.
Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already, subscribe.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we will catch you in the next one when we head out from Norseman, not down to Esperance.
No.
We're going somewhere else.